Hi, welcome back. Part 2 of sorting out our vitess, carburetor time. I can't fit that manifold I have, I'll show you in a minute, because it's off a Mark II and it's different, and the Mark II heads are different. So carb swap. One carb will go straight on, the other one, the bolt orientation is different on the SU. It goes through 90 degrees. So I'm going to have to make up an adapter plate to pick up on the bolts on the manifold with the standing studs offset, so the SU carb will fit. And obviously I've got to make a spacer plate of the same thickness, probably use a bit of 5mm steel because it won't distort then. Obviously to keep both carbs in line, so all the throttle linkages line up, and of course then my throttle linkage, my choke linkage off the Mark I won't work because it's all different, so I'm going to have to make up new throttle linkages and stuff. No big deal, it's just gonna, it's not a we'll swap it over and a job. It's going to be a bit more involved in that, but yeah, hey ho, that's old cars for you. So I'll get this lot stripped out. You're not going to see a lot because I'm going to be in here with my fat head in the way. So I'll get this lot stripped out and I'll show you what the problem is. Right, in bits, got a few updates. It turns out, and I don't remember this because it's years ago, that whole position there on these SUs is half a hole wider than the Strongbos, even though the hole in the middle is the same, it's 38mm. Now I could machine a quarter of a hole that way and make that work, but I don't really want to do that if I can avoid it. And then I was on the old interwebs and I found a Mark I float, brand new, in a packet, new old stock, bingo. So I've ordered it, 40 quid, with a bit of plastic on a bit of stainless that bobs up and down. But I've also, because when I did these originally, I put new float needles and seats in, new diaphragms, and all new gaskets. I've ordered more float bowl gaskets, O-rings. One of the slides is stuck. So we're going to get set up on the other bench, and I'm going to strip these out because they need cleaning. There's a bit of debris in them, but not a lot. Ready for when the float arrives. And I've got to work out a way. What I could do with is sticking a tube up that. I'll get it. I'll bring it up a bit closer so you can see it. Without trying to drop it, if I bring this, that there is your jet adjuster, moves the jet up and down for your mixture. What I could do with is taking that out, with this the right way up full of fuel, with a tube coming out, and you have a tube that goes up the side. I have to show you, do it on bike carbs. I fill it full of fuel, and then it gives you the level, because you'll be able to see the level up the clear tube. And as long as we can get these set both the same, that'd be a damn good start. So that is the plan. I've got to make some gaskets here. These are all a bit skanky, so we'll make new gaskets, and there's a heat protection plate that goes, just a fibre type spacer to stop heat transfer to the carb. So we'll get set up on the other bench and we'll get these stripped out. As I say, I would have preferred to use SUs. I prefer SUs to Strongbows, one because they don't have that diaphragm that's in the top that perishes. I think SUs are better quality carb, but for ease of getting this running, it's as especially as I've got a hold of that float, we're going to go down this road, so we'll get reconfigured on the other bench. Right, carbs are back on, new floats, new float in one of them, all new gaskets, the seals, got no fuel leaks. I didn't have time to video going through it. I had a bit of time, so I just jumped on it and did it. All new fuel line right through, new fuel filter. We've got a few leaks. I've had it running, I'll get it going in a minute. Fuel pump has decided it wants to leak out the top. I'm not so sure whether it's got a crack. I'll show you what I mean. I'll bring the camera around, and it's leaking oil out of the bolt that goes through the oil filter canister. So I need to put that O-ring on there. We had a faulty overdrive switch, which might cause the overdrive to jump in and out. I've got it here, I'll show you. The Lucas component of 1968 finally gave up the ghost. Here we go, that sits on top of the gearbox, and when you're in third and fourth, there's an arm that pushes that plunger in on the gear selector on the top, so that the overdrive will engage in third and fourth only. Well, that's intermittent, and you can wiggle it and make it work, and then so that's why the overdrive is dicking around. I'll get you off of there and bring you around the other side so you can have a look, and you can have a look inside, because we've got everything out at the moment. Right, difficult to video a lot of the work I did on this because everything's buried, but basically it was leaking oil out of that. There I made a rubber seal out of a bit of 5mm rubber I had kicking around. That seems to be fine, and I've had the engine right up to running temperature and it seems to be fine. and it was leaking out of there, just around there. So O-ring, that's cured that. So we're pretty good now, but you can see where the rocker box is leaking. I'll put in your rocker box gasket, it's only cork. There's a lot of oil come down this side of the engine, and it's all over the chassis. Don't know if we did the camera, I'll pick it up, but it's pretty gross down there. So I want to get and wash all that off. I don't normally worry about oil on the chassis in there, it helps to stop it going rotten, but it is grim. And there's, you know, dirt and that from where the rats got it behind the battery and stuff like that. So I just want to give a bit of a clean. Right, this is inside the car with the gear tunnel out. You see that plate sat on top of the gearbox with the wires come around with a hole in it. That's where that switch goes for your overdrive. I had to tidy up some dodgy connections under here as well. Temporarily it will go into overdrive in every gear at the moment, but obviously I only use it in top just so we can get the car on the road. I just want to get it driving so we can see if there's any other things that need doing, you know, well, before the summer months, so we can use it. Yeah, I also replaced the battery cable, so I got a new cable from the battery to the starter solenoid, and this initially had the negative going to the body ground, and then there's an earth strap from the engine to the chassis. It's now got a direct heavy duty battery cable from the negative to the crankcase, and then there's also a body ground on it as well from the battery terminal to the body ground. If you do it the old way they did it, quite often if the earth gets dodgy, it'll start pulling current down your throttle cables and stuff and melt your throttle cables. I've seen it happen, not just on these but old cars in general. So I don't know if it's going to need any choke or anything. We did have it going this morning while we were sorting out the carbs. We'll give it a go. That wants a bit of choke, I expect. Yeah, give it a bit of choke. It must warm up a bit, it's a bit cold, but the astute one of you would have noticed that when it was running in earlier on in the last bit of the video, there was like a whistling sound, sounded like either a loose fan belt or a dodgy bearing in the alternator. But it turns out, and it didn't help the running situation, this here is a breather that comes out the top of the rocker box there, or valve cover. And there's also in there, that's a breather, and it was sucking air directly through the rocker box straight into the manifold. Hence that sort of whistling sound, howling sound, which was leaning off the mixture and making it run even worse. Now I've sorted that out and I've temporarily routed the breather and it goes out underneath the car. It doesn't matter temporarily, I will resolve that. I just want to get it running and driving so we can debug the rest of it. Hopefully there's not much else needs doing where it's been sat so long. Also, here we go, this is the fuel sender that is 5 years old, that is so corroded. I would imagine it's the moisture in our lovely wet atmosphere, because there wasn't much fuel in the tank, didn't keep, because it was sat. It's just corroded it and it's done a resistor in there, because it is just a variable resistor, that's all, operates the gauge. The new one in it is now working. And also, that O-ring is what was leaking on top of the fuel pump. I replaced it with a standard round O-ring, not a flat one. And it seems to be working fine. I did order, now Quinton Hazel, back in my day in the trade, if you bought Quinton Hazel parts, excellent quality generally speaking. I could be wrong, but I'm probably not. This is the correct pump. The only difference is on the pump that's on it, you can take the top off and there's a filter in there, and that's where it was leaking. I'd imagine this is Chinesium something. So I'm very reluctant to fit that because the pump, with the O-ring in that pump, is now working fine. So whether I keep this or send it back, I don't know. The one that's on it is possibly older Chinesium. Whether it's better quality, I have no idea. But let me see if it will flick up now. I'll just lean in and flick the key and see what she's going to do. Now we've got rid of that vacuum leak. There you go. Totally different vehicle. Tried to record a short road trip video, only to find that this camera, the audio was turned off, and the one mounted to the back of the vehicle away from the exhaust couldn't cope with the noise, and it just recorded absolute junk. So I gave up on that bit. So there you go, gave it a wash, went out for a road test, got some fuel, managed to squeeze about 31 litres of fuel in it, plus the 5 litres I threw in to get it going. So less than 40 litres of fuel. It's a bit scary these days, isn't it, with a 2 litre gas guzzler under the hood. Yeah, the paint work ain't perfect. It's, you know, from 10 feet it's perfectly acceptable. Enjoyable for the summer months now, and hopefully we can just keep it maintained and use it. I'm not worried about the bodywork at the moment. It's not that bad. It's safe and solid, and we can use it. So I think we'll call that for this video, and I hope that was of interest to someone, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.